folks, you're with Tacitus today. Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this radio audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about some poll numbers that a few actually across the Western world, because these things are done in coordinated fashion by the globalist propaganda machine. A number of polls that claim that the majority of the population in the West are fully in support of diversity, think diversity is a great thing. Not only has it been good, not only is it good, but they want more diversity, much more. They want fucking diversity on steroids. So that shows how well supported it is, shows how good it is, and it proves conclusively diversity is our strength. And anyone that disagrees with that way, that proposition, by the way, is a fucking fascist, fucking Nazi, quite possibly Hitler personally. So let's have a look at this now. The first one I saw, I just quickly did a little bit of searching. Again, it took me 60 seconds to see that the report was commissioned by an NGO that is right at the forefront of encouraging mass migration and facilitating it, and also funds a lot of the infrastructure that's used to move illiterate peasants from the third world into the first world. So they're up to their eyeballs in activists' behavior and funding and all sorts of things in this area. That's not, they're paying for this. So the outfit that's doing the polling, it's like on the street and some phone calling. So they claim. These guys are also a subdivision or a division of an NGO that is also activist in this area and is also big on pushing the propaganda diversity so strength. So this is hardly an independent poll. In fact, it's got zero independence. It's a predetermined outcome type poll. But this is not mentioned in the globalist controlled media. They're presenting it as a completely independent poll that truly shows the views, beliefs, and attitudes of the population. So which it doesn't. It's activist through and through. It's propaganda through and through, and it's lies. Yet more lies being fed to us by the globalist controlled media machine and the globalist controlled NGO people movement machine. So they claim that 75% of the population love diversity, and a bit vague on the sort of diversity, but they lump it all into racial diversity, gender diversity, and LGBTQ and so on. So now there's another. I mean, I pretty much wrote that one off, but it's there. There was another poll that came up with pretty similar numbers, really. Not as much NGO activism involved in it, but clearly, a front organisation funded by a Western government that is very keen to promote mass migration and particularly run cover for illegal migration, and to indicate or suggest, well, everybody wants it. Are you against it? You fucking damn Nazi! And so that was very much the undertone of the piece. But I managed to get hold of some of the questions that one of these polls asked, and they're quite loaded questions. Would you agree that denying somebody a job or housing or any sort of assistance or any sort of help, would you believe that denying somebody all of these things just because they're black is acceptable? Well, no. It's just because of their race. No, it's not acceptable. Oh, so you're in favour of diversity then? And so they've got the loaded. The question that nobody would agree with, and then assuming or moving straight to the assumption question. So would you think it's acceptable to beat up and murder and arbitrarily kill LGBTQ people? No, of course not. Then you're in favour of LGBT and so on. So it was a ridiculous set of questions, and the question sequencing was deliberately put together so people would say that well, they would disagree with this, well, therefore you must agree with that, and go from there. So the whole thing was quite ridiculous. It didn't suggest to show anything. Another one, they held the the polling in an area that was sort of 98% non-white, and got a very heavy concentration of recent migrants. And so would you? The government. What if the government said that there could be no more mass migration from from India, for example, if the area was, which this area was, by the way, nearly all Indian? Then well, no, I want to have family reunions. I want to bring my whole fucking village out here to the west, the white west. So no, I'd be against that. So 95% of people support mass migration. No, they don't. And if you go to an area like that, I mean, you go to a shopping centre there, you're lucky to see, even one white person. So, their entire suburbs in Sydney, which are like all Indian. You'd be lucky to find anyone that isn't Indian in there. And so if you go and ask questions about, are you in favour of mass migration? Of course, they're going to say yes. And are you in favour of family reunion or chain migration, as the Americans call it? But I was surprised because once I sort of looked at one, I was surprised at all these, as I went through all these so-called polls and surveys and studies where they allegedly or purport to be asking the population to, well, what do the people think? Let's ask the people. And in fact, it's nothing of the sort. It's stage managed, choreographed, scripted bullshit fucking propaganda in order to further support and enhance the globalist position on mass migration and so on. So there's not a word of truth or accuracy or any attempt or desire to be accurate. It is purely stage-managed propaganda trying to tell us all, well, look, the people say that mass diversity is fine, mass migration is fine. So what's wrong with you if you don't say? It's that. And it's a sort of method of shaming. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.